Hey everyone, Steve Pakradooni here, your LD4 state Senate candidate, coming at you again from the back of an auto repair shop. I always say it's not very glamorous. So, speaking of auto repair and gasoline business, which I've been in my entire life, I just want to point something out for Governor Murphy. And also I'm going to talk directly to the union members, retired, working, and just getting started out. So it's very interesting that all the unions tend to back Democrats for some reason. I don't understand why they do, but they do. And they're all behind Governor Murphy. And being in the automotive repair business and the gasoline business, how does that play out for union members? So the site that I'm at now, I don't own a gas station anymore. I used to. I just do the auto repair, but I do lease bays at a gas station right now. And the owner of the gas station is investing in putting a diesel fuel tank in right now. So there's a lot of construction equipment out there, and our union guys working. So I just noticed, there's a backhoe out there. They're digging a hole with a backhoe. It's diesel powered. I don't know how Governor Murphy's plans to move us forward, to get us, as he likes to say, to move us forward, to get us away from using fossil fuels. I think he has it down at 2050. He wants to no use of fossil fuels at all by 2050. Love to move that up to 2035, which is actually not very far off. How does that work for the trades? How does that work for the union guys fixing roads and doing work at gas stations and building buildings and everything? I've never seen a solar power backhoe. Never seen a solar powered crane. Never saw solar powered skid steer. I haven't even seen a hybrid one. How's this going to play out for you guys? How's it going to work for you? Are you going to go back to using shovels before they even had this equipment? You got to think this one out. So what will happen is, of course, this equipment doesn't exist. The triaxles that are dropping off stone and dirt here for the last 3 days, they run on diesel fuel. These are big pieces of equipment, very, very, very expensive. They tend to last, 20, 30 years. Imagine you're the owner of that construction company and you now have to buy all this new equipment, if they even make electric power, triaxles and dump trucks. How does this work for you guys? So what does that do? So what will happen is, of course, we won't be able to make those pieces of equipment, nor will the companies be able to purchase them. So they'll still run on diesel fuel or gasoline or whatever. And the governor will continue to tax the fossil fuels. So it's so expensive. I mean, gas is super expensive now. Diesel's getting to be $4 a gallon. Who knows? It'll be 5, 6, 7. And the sky's the limit, and they don't seem to care. The governor has not mentioned one time about rising fuel costs. Doesn't care. He doesn't live in reality. He's a millionaire 200 or 300 times over. So to him, it doesn't make a difference what a gallon of diesel fuel or a gallon of gas cost. But for the average union guy, it makes a big difference, especially living here in New Jersey. So it's one thing to think about. Also, I like the plumbers unions and the pipe fitters. Governor Murphy wants to eliminate natural gas, wants to eliminate the use of natural gas and go completely electric. So are you going to become electricians now? Are you going to go back to school to become an electrician and then start out as an apprentice, even though you maybe have 15, 20 years in? How's it play out? Think about it. Now, I always say think, people think. Think about it. So when you go to vote, a union member in New Jersey, and you go to vote and you go, am I voting my job out? Am I voting, my livelihood away if I vote for the Democrats, who I'm told to vote for by the union leadership, who never seem to lose their job? They never get to seem to be laid off. But when the economy slows down or something happens, they always lay off the union members. Think about it. How's that going to play out? How's that going to work for you? With these crazy progressive climate change initiatives. And listen, I'm all for using new forms of energy, saving energy, technology, really, really making everything burn clean. Natural gas is extremely clean burning, and it's inexpensive and plentiful. Why would we move away from that? Governor Murphy wants to put these windmills out in the middle of the ocean. All right, great. So that'll create some jobs once they're in there. But then once they're built, what happens next? So we move to electric, and we get away from all the gasoline or fossil fuels or whatever. How about all these guys that install fuel pumps and dig up the ground to put diesel tanks in? What's happening here? Where do these guys go? Where do those jobs go? Really something to think about for our union members before you pull that lever for any Democrat, because of course the state legislature has not pushed back at one thing. The incumbents that I'm running against have lockstep with Murphy. Did they ever say, hey, Governor Murphy, here in South Jersey, it's hard for people to pay, $5 a gallon for gasoline. It's hard for small construction companies or even large construction companies to pay these high fuel costs or buy equipment that could cost, $300,000 or $400,000 for one vehicle. And they just purchased vehicles a few years ago. What are they supposed to do? Not use them because we're not allowed to use gasoline anymore? Really some things to think about. And then move on to pensions. Union guys have pensions. It's great. They deserve pensions. They work very, very hard all their life. And can you afford to live in New Jersey under Governor Murphy's policies with your pension? Or do you have to retire, get your pension, and move to South Carolina, North Carolina, or Florida because they don't tax pensions there? Or would you rather vote for Jack Ciattarelli and the Republican slate that backs, I will vote yes if you send me to Trenton, and Jack, we propose a law or a bill to not tax pensions in the state of New Jersey for anyone? I would vote yes on that. Jack has said that that's what he wants to do. He wants to keep people in New Jersey when they retire, so you can stay with your family, your grandchildren, your friends. It's important. You have to think about these things. Same thing with the teacher union. I'm moving off construction and the teacher unions. The teacher unions are all behind Governor Murphy, but as a teacher, can you afford to stay in New Jersey with the salary that you make? How about your pension? Will you be able to afford to stay in New Jersey with this crazy progressive, you like to say, moving forward policies of borrowing billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars? We're already taxed higher than any other state in the nation. Your property taxes on average are $4,000 higher a year than anywhere else in the country. Can you afford to stay here? Or would you rather have an MBA CPA, straighten out the state's finances, cut the corporate tax rate, cut the taxes on pensions, or eliminate the taxes on pensions, and draw people into the state to increase the revenue of the state? So yes, we can spend still. We can, afford to fix our roads and all the things we need to do as a state, but it's not on the backs of the taxpayers. We increase the revenue coming in from new businesses starting up, corporations moving back in, and moving forward the correct way. Not liberal policies, but with actually conservative, fiscal, proven to work policies. So I just want the union members to think about it. I have your back. Unions are very dear to me. I always say, too, I have a lot of friends in the unions and the trades. I always say, especially when it comes to the elevator trades, that if I'm in a 20-story building, I'm in that elevator, I'm praying to God a union guy put this thing together, because I know that they know what they're doing. And it's important to us. But I want you to be able to afford to live here in New Jersey. So, guys, think about what's best for you and your family when you vote in November 2nd election. Thank you very much, but please go and vote.